Venomous?
Pythons aren't venomous, they're constrictors. You see that massive body? You see that massive body?
Yeah.
It contains our body contains around 800 muscles, while pythons contain over 10,000 muscles.
What?
Number 5, Common Krait. That's the assignment for Toby Casanova. Located in Sanjay Van Hike area in Delhi, India.
So, where are you?
I'm in Sanjay Van.
What are you searching for here?
The Common Krait.
So looks like we found one here, resting. Found one?
Yeah.
These animals are not very rare. I advise that you don't touch it because it has venom. Surprisingly, people die of their bites when they are sleeping. So surprisingly, these burrows are not theirs. They take it because, careful, because they they need somewhere to hide during the day since they're strictly nocturnal. That's why people fear them while sleeping, specifically because they wander in the night hunting, like vinegaroons and black-footed cats, active times. And seeing them under here, that's why seeing them under here is common. You see how it's many people expect bands like those in sea crates, but these ones are not very good swimmers and are more connected to land. And the rarity of their bands now, it's probably due to its age. So we're here trying to encounter, but it's genuinely not very safe. Oh, so based on what I explained, is this burrow theirs?
Yeah.
Was it dug by mammals or its own self?
It was dug by mammals.
So, did you know that this is also one of the big four? The big four means the four most major snakes responsible for human deaths in India.
Oh. Wow.
And their terrestrial nature allows them to dwell on ground hunting for mice and rats, and they're not sea snakes. There are snakes that eat other snakes, which we call ophidiophagus.
Cool.
As for number 4, the Burmese Python, which Benjamin Souza is handling, which is an albino version which we need to go to Noga Wild to handle, as albino versions cannot survive in the wild. It's his turn to witness the giant.
Hi, you're in that Georgia sanctuary we went to in the spring of 2024. You can handle this Burmese python, a part of it. We'll be careful though. Okay, keep it like that because we need to retain a careful. They're very heavy. You know how anacondas are? Keep handling it, letting it handle its own weight. Push it gently into your hands. It might be slithering away, but don't drop it, okay? I know it's an exercise, but Benjamin, careful. Ow. You know what? I'll help you. So Benjamin, you know how the green anaconda is the heaviest snake on earth, while the reticulated python is the longest? Burmese python is sort of a mix of both of them. I know the reticulated python may look heavy but despite its weight, it's long and not as heavy as the Burmese python, making the Burmese the heaviest python on earth. Humans have around 80 muscles, right? I mean, like 800 muscles, more than that. Sorry for, misspeaking. Careful, continue handling it carefully. While such snakes have over 10,000. Isn't that surprising?
Yeah.
He's a little silent, so he's trying to be careful. He's paying attention, I know. And it's important too. But this one is not very feasible in the wild because it has to be darker in coloration, blending with its surroundings. In fact, that reminds me of how the reticulated one gets its name. You said you were scared of that earlier. Look now how you're managing it.
The best viewing hotspot of all for number 3, the green anaconda for Tavi Faustino, is the swimming of the lakes and rivers of Bonito, Brazil. In other places it's too muddy and visibility is not clear at all. They must stay confined to water for nearly their whole lives, since their weight is very difficult to handle on land, and if they stay too long, they will die. So, they need to keep swimming for most of their lives. This is exactly why we stayed confined to Bonito waters. They are non-venomous, constrict their prey with their muscles, which helps kill it and let it swallow its prey whole with its backward pointing teeth rather than chewing. Number 2, the inland taipan for Tommy Casanova. This snake was not easy to find. These snakes live in remote specific areas in Australia's Queensland outback region. The inland taipan, the most venomous snake in the world. How do we know?
We recorded it, and it's approximately 23 times more venomous than the Indian cobra with the ratings of mice, also revealing it's 72 times more potency than the king cobra. If you want perspective, a single king cobra bite, no wonder they're not true cobras, releasing approximately 420 milligrams of venom, can be fatal for roughly 2,600 mice. On the other hand,
A bite from this snake, releasing just under 44 milligrams of venom, has the capability of wiping out as much as 220,000 mice.
Wow.
Not only that, but it can also release up to no more than half of the king cobra's venom yield at maximum 110 milligrams of venom in a single bite. And that's still enough to wipe out over 500,000 mice or 500,000 mice, which is roughly equivalent to nearly 98 to 100 individual adult humans. Fortunately, they rarely encounter us. But, of course, it won't mind defending itself if provoked, so that's why we better not touch it.
Also, it makes a threat display if it's threatened by raising its forebody in a tight, low S-shaped curve. And you also see how dark its body is. That's because it's winter right now. So they change color depending on the season, lighter in summer and darker in winter to regulate temperature. But it's not instant. But if the offender defies its warning, it can strike, releasing its potent venom and likely killing after a lot of severe potency if there is no anti-venom available in 45 minutes. A venomous snake's teeth are syringe-like points. They're kind of like the forks. I'll show you the forks I have to get you a perspective of the syringe-like teeth. That's how they can release venom. Its venom is mostly alpha and beta neurotoxins that disrupt the nervous system. But that's not the only type of toxin snakes have. There are so many. Venom is basically chemical warfare. Some snakes eat other snakes, even the venomous deadly ones. The king brown snake is even capable of eating this venomous snake. So if you think the inland taipan could as well be okay if it's bitten, then unfortunately you're not necessarily correct. You see, antibodies are required to resist venom. And venom is basically a type of chemical or biological warfare. So I advise you not to touch it. Look how it's moving. It's not the fastest, but it can slither kind of fast. It's a taipan's venom is what a king brown snake can resist with its specialty. Let's perceive a snake biting itself by mistake. Luckily, the snake will not usually be in trouble. Why? Because their antibodies are evolved for their own venom and even another of its own kind. So it's unlikely to strictly cannibal. However, in a very different lethal situation, what happens next is unfortunate.
The last snake you will see now is number 1, the Florida Cottonmouth, which Jordan Galveria will be encountering. This is one of the 2 newly identified species, and we will find it specifically in the Florida Everglades in this encounter.
In the Florida Everglades, we will find this highly venomous pit viper called the cottonmouth. If it bites you, it can be very fatal. In fact, its venom is also useful along with its resistance for a purpose. Its diet. It eats other snakes, even the highly venomous rattlesnakes, infamous for their painful bite and terrifying rattle. And so this snake is bigger than the rattlesnake in addition to the advantage subject, and its blackish coloration is attributed to a sort of melanin age effect. The age effect allowed it to become more blackish in color. They're pit vipers like rattlesnakes. Vipers are recognized by their special heads, their way of adapting, and their potent venom. In fact, vipers are actually the group of snakes most responsible for deaths in the world, and in turn, vipers are officially considerably the deadliest snakes on the planet. For instance, the saw-scaled viper is responsible for the world's most human deaths. Also, the The Gaboon viper is the largest viper in the world, and Fer de Lance is also a type of viper, the deadliest in the Americas, including North America and South America, which make up most of the Western Hemisphere that we are in right now. I'd rather that we stay cautious and not handle it. You see, teeth, like I might have said in another video, are syringe-like. They're like fork with a syringe inside. So never risk yourself to get bitten. They're also nocturnal.